to my channel. My name is Suzanne. If you're new here, I post motherhood, lifestyle, cleaning content, DIYs, anything related to that. Today's video is going to be a budgeting video. I am in charge of the budgeting in the house. We are a family of 5 and we live on one income. My husband is a semi-driver for UPS, so we just live on his income. Budgeting is very important in our family because it can be a little challenging sometimes to keep track of what's coming in and what's going out and where it's going. So I'm going to go through how I budget for our family and give you some tips that I use and an app that I use. This is not sponsored in any way. It's just an app that I've been using for a while now, and I really enjoy it, and it really helps me to kind of see everything. I'm a visual person, and I really need to see everything laid out in front of me so that I can kind of better understand where everything is and where it's going. Also, what I've already paid for the month, because I budget monthly. So I will show you the app that I use that I think is super helpful if you also tend to budget like that as well. It's free. You can upgrade, I think, and pay a little bit more for some additional features. I have not used those features because I just use the basic version, and that works well for me. I'm going to start off just kind of giving you an overview of my budgeting strategies. I also will go over meal planning because meal planning is a huge part of my budget. Trying to feed a family of 5. I do work in days where we eat out or days where we can have food delivered, but for the most part we cook a lot of meals at home, which is really helpful to stay on budget. So I will show you how I meal plan and what that looks like and my food budget. I also did a grocery haul. I got a Walmart order delivered, and that has all of our meals for the week on it, except my husband, because he works at night, we cook his food separately. So I kind of do my own separate budget for his thing. But for me and the girls, I have a teenage daughter and a 3-year-old, and then I have a baby. The baby just eats very basic solid foods, and then she's still on a bottle right now, so I don't really factor her in as much, but we do need to still budget for the formula and her baby food and that kind of thing. I do work that in there too. But as far as meals go for the week, it's just me and my daughters mostly, and then in the weekend we kind of budget for food that we eat during the weekend when my husband is home, because we all tend to eat different things when the weekend comes. So I'm gonna sit down and do a little bit of meal planning, and then I will show you my grocery order after I finished meal planning so you can see what was on it, and that's going to be what myself and my daughters eat for the week. If you're interested in seeing how I budget, how we make it work for a family of 5 on one income, and what our budgeting strategies look like, then please keep on watching. For meal planning, I have my planner. This is a happy planner. Of course, it's princesses. I got it for my birthday, but I just go through, and I can do a whole video just on how I do my planner. I have some stickers and stuff just to make it a little bit more fun and have my creative side expressed in my planner. But this is where I write down each night for the meals for the week. So I will sit down every week and I will go through every day. I cruise Pinterest, or I go on to my saved recipes from Pinterest and just pull up a rotation of any meals that we have already made in the past that sound good for that week. I usually try to do a grocery order on Friday, so I will sit down during the week, normally like Wednesdays or Thursdays, and I will sit with my planner and go on Pinterest and just see what I might want to make for that week. I also ask my teenage daughter, because it's normally just the 2 of us eating during the week, so I will ask her what she might want for that week, and then I will write it in here every single night. Then I will transfer it to my little magnet on the fridge. That way Hannah, my daughter, my teenage daughter, she will know exactly what we're cooking each night. She works during the week, so it's kind of easier to communicate that way. And then what I'll do is go through the ingredients and just add those to my grocery order. Every single thing for each recipe. So for example, tonight I'm making chicken parm sliders. So I went through for my grocery order and I put every single thing that I was gonna need for chicken parm sliders. The only thing they didn't have was the Hawaiian rolls. I'm not sure why, I don't remember them saying they weren't on there. So I did end up getting those from Publix another day when I went grocery shopping. I'm gonna show you the chicken parm sliders tonight. It's my first time making them, but it looks like a super easy recipe, and chicken parm is one of Hannah's favorite meals. So if this is a winner, then not only is it budget friendly, but it's really fast and easy to make too. So I will add it into the rotation for sure. But this is gonna be my first time making it, so we will see how it goes. This is my magnet that I have on the refrigerator, and it's just a weekly little calendar. And this is where I write every night what we're gonna have for dinner. It's to communicate it with my daughter, but then it also is kind of for me as well, so that I know what we're doing. So we have the ravioli one night, the chicken parm sliders. I work in a leftover day usually because we always have leftovers. We're doing buffalo chicken dip. I do my Walmart order on Fridays. And then Saturdays and Sundays when my husband is home, we tend to grill out. And then at the bottom, I put what the groceries are that I'm going to need. And I let everybody just write what groceries they need too. And then I will go ahead and add these groceries to my weekly shopping list. One of my biggest budgeting tips is to do online grocery shopping if you can. I use the Walmart app and I love it. I do pay for the delivery option because I have little kids and it's hard to leave the house sometimes. But it is so worth it because I don't have to go shopping. It's so easy. All you have to do is type up in the search what you're looking for and it pulls up everything they have in stock. You just add it to your list. So here's what I already have in my list. And then if you look out at the bottom, it'll tell you what your subtotal is. And that makes it so easy to stay on track. So if you're trying a new budgeting strategy, I highly recommend online shopping. It helps so much. This is my grocery order from the previous week that I'm using for dinners this week. So I have paper towels. I got some vodka sauce because I'm going to be making that ravioli. I also got marinara sauce because we're going to do the chicken parm sliders. I always put apple juice and orange juice on my order. We drink those every week. The girls go through them so quickly. And then I drink almond milk, and so does Hannah. I got these mushrooms because my husband, I make him steaks at night, which actually ends up being super cost effective. I don't buy them at Walmart though, but I have these mushrooms to go with his steaks. I do buy ramen. Sometimes it's nice to just have something fast and easy to throw together for somebody who is hungry. And then we needed some Ziploc storage bags, so I picked up a gallon and then the sandwich bag type as well. I got some fruit. We got strawberries, and I picked up, here's the ravioli for dinner the night, Monday night. Cream cheese and some buffalo sauce because Hannah wanted buffalo chicken dip. I will get the rotisserie chicken closer to when I make it though. I did get lemons and bananas to go along with the fruit. And then I picked up some croutons. Walmart's croutons are so cheap and they're very good. So I usually get a couple bags when I order those. I got some provolone for sandwiches and I might use them for the sliders. I don't think I'll need them though because I have this mozzarella and I think that should be more than enough. And that's what the recipe calls for. I got some bread, again, just for sandwiches or toast or whatever. Here's ground beef for the ravioli. I always eat oatmeal in the morning, and the old-fashioned oats are like $1, I think, so very cost-effective. I always buy baby spinach because I love salads, and I love spinach salads, and Lucy eats those too, surprisingly. And then these are just the Walmart brand Oreos. They're called Twist and Shout, but Lucy loves Oreos, so I have those. And then some carrot chips because she likes those as a snack most days, which is awesome that she loves veggies so much. And then over here is just some like self-care products. So I have deodorant, and then Hannah needed shampoo and conditioner, so I purchased those as well. So I will put my total, and you can see how much it costs for all of this, but this is just pretty much almost 4 nights worth of meals, 3 nights worth of meals. Definitely easy and budget friendly too. Alright, so these are a few of my tools tools that I use for budgeting. They're pretty basic. One of them is this composition book. It was 50 cents at Walmart. I usually have a couple of these, and I use this to write down everything for each week that's going out. And then if I have anything significant coming in, I don't write the paychecks in it. I mostly just write whatever bills are due for that week, then I total it out. That's going to let me know exactly how much I have due for that particular week. My husband gets paid on Fridays, so I know every Friday I will total up what comes out for that week, and then that's what I'm going to need to budget for that particular week. This is mostly for just the big bills, so car payments, mortgage. I split our mortgage up throughout the month, and I try to pay a little bit as I go if I can, or at least just take a little bit out each week instead of having a massive amount. And then I created a separate mortgage account in my online banking, and then that's where I put all the money each week that I'm setting aside for the mortgage. Nothing comes out of that account, so I don't have to worry about anything coming or going in there. It's just all that comes out is the mortgage payment. I set up another bank account that's just for our spending. We tried money envelopes at one time, and that just got really difficult having to go to the bank and get out the cash. I never go to the bank, so I stopped using the money envelopes. That definitely does work for some. If you do a search for it on Pinterest or whatever, it'll come up. It might work for you. That is not something that I just felt worked for me, only because having cash on hand was really difficult. So instead, what I do, and what I've done for a very long time, is I have one bank account set up solely for things that come out each month. So any bills, I have them set to that bank account. And then for our spending bank account, I have a separate account through a separate bank that I can transfer money back and forth if I need to. But that helps me because then I know that I'm not overspending from the account that's gonna have bills come out of it. That money will just be separate. And then we have our spending account where I can keep track of exactly how much we have to spend for the rest of the week. It's kind of our money envelope. I can go through and record where all the money goes that we spend too, because you can pull up the online banking and it'll say gas or groceries or whatever. That's my spending account. And then I have my mortgage account, and then I have my checking account that is just for bills. It's kind of confusing, I guess, if you hear it, but when I do it, it makes a lot of sense, and it actually makes it so much easier for me to account for where bills are going and to make sure that payments have already been made, because I know that they'll just come straight out of the money that I put from the paycheck each week. And then I divvy up the paycheck every Friday to go into those specific accounts. So I have my budget book, or whatever you want to call it, composition book. This is where I write down each of the weekly bills, and then that's where I tally everything up every single Friday. That just makes it really easy for me. So I've got my planner and I have my composition book, and these are two very helpful things to use when you're trying to budget for.
One of my other really important tools that I use when I am doing our budget is an app. It is the Dave Ramsey Every Dollar app, and you can just download it for free at the App Store. I've been using this for a couple years now, actually, and I love it. It makes it so easy because you can go in and, like I'm showing you here, this is just a sample. This isn't my exact budget, but you can do it for each month, so you can add in your paycheck and type in exactly how much you're going to get for your paycheck and input it, and then it will keep a running tally of how much you have left, if you're overspending. And then each part of the app, you can break it down into sections that matter for your particular budget. So you can go in and enter for your mortgage, how much that is each month, how much you pay for your electric, how much you pay for your cable. And again, I'm just kind of entering just sort of broad numbers. These aren't exactly my budget numbers, but they're pretty close to it. You can also delete sections that don't matter for your budget or that don't apply for your budget. And like, I don't pay a separate water. It's all through my electric, so I can get rid of that. And again, yeah, just enter everything however you budget your money. So $200 each month for gas, a separate maintenance budget. You can do groceries. I do try to spend about $400 a month on groceries. And then we have a separate budget for if we go out to eat at restaurants. So again, you can scroll through and see how it's all split up, and then cater it to what your particular budget is. And then you just go in and enter the amount where it says planned. Enter each amount of how much you are going to allot to that particular budget, and then you'll know how much you have to spend. It's cool too because you can click on the graph and it'll show you what percentage of your budget goes where, so you see exactly how you're spending. So obviously our mortgage would be a big chunk of it, but you can also go in and it'll show you if you're spending too much eating out or if you're overspending in a particular section. You can then click on spent. This tab will show you how much you've spent, and then remaining, and that'll show you how much you have left. As you go through the app, you can click on each individual section too, and that's how you can enter what you've spent, and you can even put where you've spent it. So say you spent $20 on gas, I just put Wawa. They let you put obviously any gas station. Once you enter that, it'll deduct it from your overall budget, so you can see how much you've already spent for that month for gas, and then it'll let you know how much you have left to spend. So you don't have to sit and do the math yourself. You can just click on spent, it'll show you, and then click on remaining, and it will show you how much you have left in each section of your budget. It's also really helpful if you pay a bill, you can go in and put that you paid the bill, and it'll let you know, so you don't have to say, did I pay it? You can just, as soon as it comes out, put the date and the deduction, and it'll show you. And again, just going in for groceries, putting in that you spent $100 of your grocery budget, where you've spent it, and it'll go and deduct it for you. So you can better keep track of your spending and see exactly where your money is going. And again, just letting you know how much you have to spend for the rest of the month. So it's just a super helpful tool when you're trying to pinpoint where exactly your money goes and how much you really are spending in certain areas. Maybe you're spending more eating out than you thought you were, and as you start to add those in there and add it up, you can see right there in the app how much you're actually spending on eating out. So it's very eye-opening but helpful at the same time. And then you can go through and add each paycheck for the month, or if you have additional income, I put support. If you have additional income sources, you can add that in there too. They have a place where you can put an emergency fund, and then that will also deduct from your monthly budget. So you're able to add to an emergency fund each month if you give to charities. It's just a really great app, and it's so easy to use, and like I said, just easy to see everything right in front of you, and that's what I love about it. So if you're looking for a great budgeting app to help you out, I highly recommend the Dave Ramsey app, and I don't think you'll be disappointed, and it really, really is an awesome tool if you're just starting out in budgeting, or even if you've been doing it for a while. So definitely recommend that app. Now I'm going to show you how to make the chicken Parmesan sliders.
Alright, so this is what you're going to need to do these sliders. It says Hawaiian rolls for the recipe. I put those in my order and they did not have them for some reason, so I went to Publix the next day and I just grabbed these Sara Lee bakery rolls. They were on sale, and I'm pretty sure they're still going to taste really good because you are brushing the top of them with butter and Italian seasoning, so I think that'll still taste the same, even though it won't have the sweetness to it. I think it'll work. Any kind of pasta sauce of your choice, marinara sauce or whatever you like to use. I got this Classico 4 cheese. Classico is one of my favorite brands, so I just went ahead and got the 4 cheese and that. It does say that you need mozzarella, which I do have, but then it also says Parmesan. I don't have Parmesan. I thought I did, but I was out of it. So I got sliced provolone for sandwiches. I'm gonna see if I need this, I have it, or I might be able to just get away with the mozzarella. So we shall see. The recipe that I found calls for frozen chicken nuggets or some kind of frozen breaded chicken. I do have breaded chicken fillets, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use the chicken nuggets because I have more of these and my daughter is not that picky, so I think these will be fine. And they look like they'll be a little easier to work with on the rolls because the rolls are small, so I think these will be perfect. And these are really good. If you've never tried the Banquet chicken breast nuggets, these are really good and they have a really good flavor, so I think those will work fine. You're also gonna need 1/4 cup of butter, and then just a little extra, which I'm gonna melt in the pan. This is a 9x13 baking dish. This is all you need for the recipe. So I'm gonna have grease that with the butter and have that ready to go for the rolls. And then it says you need garlic powder. We ran out of that, but I have garlic salt. So I'm gonna use some garlic salt and then some Italian seasoning. And that's it. So this is everything you need. I will put the recipe down below. I found it on Pinterest, so I will put the Pinterest recipe below. Again, this is my first time making it, so we will see how it turns out. We're gonna preheat our oven to 350.
The recipe calls for you to heat the chicken per the package instructions. I use my air fryer anytime I make any of these frozen chicken nuggets or the patties or anything like that. So I'm going to just count out 12 since there are 12 rolls and lay those on the rack and start cooking those in the air fryer. I put them on for about 11 to 12 minutes. And they're going to bake in the oven as well, obviously, so they're definitely going to be cooked. But yeah, the recipe does say to go ahead and cook them ahead of time first. I'm going to get my baking dish greased up so that way nothing will stick to it. And then it says to cut the rolls in half, so I'm going to do that and then layer the baking dish with the bottom layer of all the rolls. So we'll go ahead and get those into the baking dish. Once those are on the baking dish, it says to bake them for about 3 minutes, just so the bottom is a little bit crispy and it won't get soggy. While those are baking, I'm going to make the butter mixture. So we're just going to melt the 1/4 cup of butter in the microwave. And then once that's all melted, we're going to add in our seasoning. So it's about a teaspoon of the Italian seasoning. And then it calls for a teaspoon of the garlic powder. I did a little less of the salt just so it wasn't super salty. But I'm going to put those in the bowl and then get those all mixed together, and that will be the topping for our rolls. Now the nuggets have finished cooking. I'm going to put those onto the bottom half of the rolls, and then it says to layer on the sauce, just like regular chicken Parmesan. So I'm going to add the sauce onto the top of the chicken nugget. It looks kind of funny, actually. And then once I get all the sauce on it, it says to put the mozzarella cheese. So we will go on with our mozzarella cheese, and I just put as much as you want. It does have, I can't remember even how much the recipe calls for, but we like our cheese, so I just did a pretty generous amount of mozzarella on each of the little nuggets. And then once that's all done, you go on and add the top part of the rolls, and then they are ready to put into the oven. Oh yes, and then we need to brush the butter on top of it. I did not have a brush, so I just used a paper towel. I also did not have aluminum foil. I was out of a lot of things apparently. But you would cover it normally and then bake it for 13 to 15 minutes. But I did it a little bit longer since I was out of foil. And then you take the foil off, bake it an additional 3 minutes, and this is what it looks like. So this is definitely party food. This is certainly not a fancy meal by any means. And if I had to give my opinion, while this was good, I would use something other than a chicken nugget, maybe something a little bit more substantial. But it still tasted very good. And then I added some extra marinara sauce for dipping. So definitely would recommend for an easy weeknight meal. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you some budgeting tips and ideas if you're trying to come up with a budgeting strategy for your household. If you haven't already, please give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and consider subscribing. I would love to have you join my YouTube family. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.